The Grillaz.
We're salivating, mate. To be
We
honest,
are indeed. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. We have got a very exciting guest, the newly crowned, I suppose, CEO of Hog's Breath Cafes, Tom Elliott. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolute pleasure. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. When you think of a CEO, I think of blokes in their 60s, 70s, potentially even over. You're the youngest CEO I think I've ever met, mate. I'm going to be honest.
Well, it's funny. I feel about 60 or 70 at the moment. But no, I appreciate the kind words.
Oh,
So.
it's true, though, and it's testament to what you've achieved since you've been over in Australia. But
Are you enjoying the role?
Loving it.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I feel like I've aged about 10 years, but a few more grey
You don't
hairs
look
than was there previously. But no, loving it.
Yeah.
Loving it. It's something different every day, and a great brand like Hogs, who wouldn't enjoy curly fries and steaks. So.
Exactly right. I was going to say what kind of drew you, I suppose, going to Hog's Breath. That's such an iconic Australian brand, isn't it? Been around for decades now. But yeah, tell us what kind of, I suppose, inspired you to go there and be a part of this.
Yeah, I suppose my background has been with big brands domestically in the food and beverage space. So Donut King is probably the most renowned one, Gloria Jeans, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But yeah, the role came up for Hog's Breath. I think everyone sort of remembers a Hog's Breath experience.
We've all been there, that's for sure.
As a kid or whatever it might be, the Hog Star, curly fries, etc., etc. And for me, I think it's sad to see the decline of the restaurants that we've had over the past 5 or 10 years. We've lost a lot of market share. So for me, it was the opportunity to turn it around, get it growing again, and then making sure that we can put more bums on seats, get more restaurants on the ground, and give the people what they want, which is more Hog's Breath's experiences out there. So big challenge, but there's a place in this market for this brand, and it's well loved.
Most
I'll
definitely.
tell you that much. So
Yeah. Are you still going to keep that Western sort of theme, the themes of the restaurants?
Yeah, look, I think for us, we're sort of retro, and sort of the Western vibe is there. Absolutely, and it has been previously. But for us, I think it's more about carving away into the future that resonates with the guests that we currently have, but then also bringing through a new generation of customer as well. That's probably where we've lapsed.
Yeah, okay.
So, we're doing a lot of innovation work at the moment around the bar, around the footprint size, the product innovation as well, just making sure that we're on trend. Without losing what has been core to the business as well and core to the brand. I think that's really important. You don't want to alienate guests, and you don't want to divert away from what has made the brand so successful for the last 36 years, albeit the numbers would suggest we do need to innovate and change and modernise. So that's sort of the brief.
I mean, that's probably with every business too, doesn't it? Time rolls, and you've got to just keep going with the momentum and things like that, which is great for Hog's Breath.
And I think you look at the hospitality industry the last 5 years, it's kind of been a bit of a perfect storm, hasn't it? You've had COVID, you've had cost of living pressures, you've had inflation, labour shortages. So all that has sort of been the perfect storm. And when you're a brand that's sort of had its best days sort of 10, 15 years ago, and you haven't been quick to innovate and pull the trigger on certain things around technology or innovation, whatever it might be, then you're playing a bit of catch up. So that's the role here. But as I said to you, the conversations that I'm having with people around the brand, there's such affinity to the brand and such nostalgia around it. That you've got the bones of something really special. So it's now just finding the right way to move forward in 2025 and beyond. You can get more bums on seats, you can get more restaurants on the ground, bring through new franchise partners and go from there.
Well, you just touched on it. I think that everybody's had an Hog's Breath experience. Like you walked into the studio this afternoon and Jodie's just said, obviously, I had my 21st there, and Jodie's now in her 50s, but there's age. It's ageless, isn't it? That people, like even I, coming over 9 years ago, I knew of Hog's Breath. But you touched on it. COVID hit. What kind of struggles did you have in that time at Hog's Breath, and how, I suppose, now are we rectifying that? Are we looking to kind of move forwards?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question because I don't think we're the only business in the food and retail space or food and hospitality space that has struggled over the past 5 or 10 years. There's been plenty of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of them have gone to the wall and haven't survived, or are hanging on by their fingertips. That's not us. I think some of the challenges we have when restaurant number 1 was built in 1989 up there in Airlie Beach, the landscape was completely different. You had big 450, 500 square restaurants. I think we all remember going to sort of big footprint restaurants for Hog's Breath Cafe. You know, and times have evolved, right? The way that we all get our food and enjoy brand experiences has changed. You know, the rise of delivery, the likes of Uber Eats. You know, we're in a very convenience-based economy as well now,
definitely.
right? You know, people want seamless transactions. They don't necessarily want to go and dine out. We still got that occasion, but I think for us it was just not evolving as quickly as what we could have done. And what COVID taught us is brands that didn't have their finger on the pulse of what was coming. No one could predict COVID, of course, but you know, the brands that weren't on their sort of game around technology and innovation and looking at efficiencies from a kitchen perspective, both front of house and back of house. When COVID came, if you didn't have your house in order, you were made to pay tenfold. And I think for us, it's now picking up those pieces and sort of really road mapping a plan forward that allows us to be a bit more nimble, a bit more agile in our footprints, lowering cost of entry for incoming franchise partners as well. And then making sure that we're delivering on the guest experience that everyone knows and loves. So our product quality's there. You know, are the kids having a good time in our restaurants? Because we know if the kids are having a good time, the parents are having a good time.
Absolutely.
So it's all those sort of touch points as you move forward. So
We've talked a lot on this show, mate, about the different delivery services and about we kind of clash sometimes on whether we should order Uber Eats.
Because I'm not a real lover of it.
Mate, and I'm the same. And I think what Hog's Breath's done in the past is they do deliver that lovely service. That way you can go up, you can speak to people, you're not just sitting on your table and scanning Q codes. And is there an element going forwards of it's going to be a bit of a mix of both? If you want to sit at the table, you can order, or can you still have that personalised touch as well?
Yeah, I think you can't ignore technology.
No, you can't. That's right.
The new generation does like to have a bit more of a seamless, contactless transaction option. So QR codes obviously are a natural non-negotiable, but for us, I mean, we call it hospitality. You know, it's all about that customer experience, that guest experience, and that's what our name was built off, right? It was that connection that you had with the server and the guest, and the fun that and the energy that they brought into the business, and you know, going all the way back to when, you know, we had training staff members that would have big L plates on there. You know, so there's some really unique stuff that the brand's done over time that's core to that guest experience and how we engage. And I think there's a demand from Australians in the marketplace to still have that really great guest experience. I think there's a few ads going around from the Square business, you know, the point of sale business at the moment, that is all about the customer and how, you know, service still matters, I think is their slogan, which is, I think, is a really great sort of reference point for brands moving forward around the customer is the only thing that still matters. And yes, you've got to cater to those that are technology driven and just want that seamless transaction. But, you know, why do people go and have a meal and sit down? They want to be overserved. They want to feel like it's special, especially when money's tight as well, right? And you're dining out less frequently. So.
Just on that, the money's tight too. So it doesn't just have to be an evening meal. I noticed that you've got a $16.90 lunch meal, which is it's incredible. It's really, really good value.
Absolutely.
Where you can, if you've got the kids during the day, school holidays or whatever, just here for a holiday.
I know it ticks your box. That's
it certainly does.
He loves a bargain, mate. He really does.
I just said, and I went through the list,
No,
and there's a lot of good value on there just for a lunchtime. So don't think you have to go there just an evening meal. And the sun's shining, go there during the day and have some lunch.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the last couple of years, as everyone sort of felt the pinch, you know, value-driven deals and value-based occasion purchasing obviously has been top of mind with a lot of brands, and ours is no different. And we feel at $16.90, where you can get 6 or 7 menu items, some really fan favourites in there as well. We're up there competing with the best of them for value. So.
Absolutely. I mean, Scott and I, we call it a local pub round here, Saltwater, sometimes on a Tuesday lunchtime, and they do $15 specials.
The boss doesn't know that.
No, she doesn't. $6 schooners, mate, and it's packed. You know, 12 o'clock on a Tuesday, 2 o'clock on a Tuesday, and it's always packed, isn't it? Because of that value, and I think you're absolutely spot on here. I looked at some of your figures, mate. I've been following your journey on LinkedIn and stuff since you've you've really hit the ground running, mate, and I congratulate you. And I think your latest figures on ribs. Tell us about that. Was it like how many thousands of ribs have sold over the last few weeks?
I think
it's crazy, isn't it?
It was like 7,000 ribs across 20 locations, which is a lot of
bad,
ribs, right? So we've done a collaboration with Jack Daniels.
Yeah, wow.
And created a Jack Daniels barbecue sauce that went on the ribs.
Oh
so,
my God.
you know, affectionately known as our jacked up ribs range.
Yeah.
That's now moved into a new menu item in wings. So we've got jacked up wings as well now. And the customers just loved it. I mean, for us operationally, it's super simple. It's back of house. There's nothing really that needed to change. Just a couple of tweaks to the barbecue sauce, and you know, you talk about experiences. You know, we were able to partner with you know, a really renowned brand name, and you'll see us do more of that, right? I mean, there's a lot of brands that we're dealing with right now that will help us get more mainstream eyeballs back on the brand. So big brands, whether it's in you know, retail and fashion, and you know, stay tuned on that one, or whether it's in the cocktail space. There's a lot of stuff happening with our brand at the moment where we see there's some nice synergies with our product mix and menu offerings, and some businesses that are, you know, doing some cool things out there. So
awesome. I mean, speaking of sauces, we're not asking for a partnership here, but we interviewed the owner of Punk Rock Peppers a couple of weeks ago, and he's going to make a Grillaz sauce. So we might bring you a few bottles down, mate. You can have a little go with them. Yeah, why not? Are you happy to stay with us for the second part of the show, mate? And
I would absolutely love to.
Awesome. Well, I think we'll talk about what's going on marketing-wise, the future, and maybe the menu. Let's talk about the items on the menu.
Let's do that,
because we're dying to. And Scott and I
I'm so hungry.
We're going to get down. I think we'll probably go down to the Surfers Paradise. We'll have a bit of fun down there, and we might put a competition out for people at home. If you head over to Grillaz Facebook, Rebel FM Facebook, you can win your own experience for 4 people at Hog's Breath, which is going to be beautiful, isn't it?
Can't wait.
The Grillaz on the Rebel.
We're having a great afternoon here, having a lot of fun.
We are indeed.
And now we're going to talk about the future of Hog's Breath, what the plans are. But let's get into that menu, Scotty, because I know you've been having a look at it. What's been appealing to you?
We did speak earlier about the Jim Beam and the wings and the ribs and things like that. Are the signature dishes staying? The steak and the curly fries?
Oh, of course. Yeah. No, it would be absolutely crazy to get rid of those.
Can I get that recipe for the steak too? The 20.
The 18-hour prime rib. No, that's like the McDonald's secret sauce. You know, that's our IP, unfortunately. So no, that would be giving away the farm. So you won't be getting that out of me.
Burgers wise, I'm kind of renowned talking on this show about my obsession with burgers. I like a cheap burger sometimes, but I really like also like I consider myself a connoisseur of the burger and the burger market. When I was at university, I was obsessed. I ate like 20 odd in a weekend once. I'm not proud of that, Tom.
Still hasn't changed either.
Tell us about your burgers, mate. What have you got on the menu, and do they sell really well?
Yeah, they do. I mean, it's our third biggest category behind what our prime ribs are. So we've got 8 prime rib toppers, and then we've got our grill section as well of the business, and then we've got burgers and wraps, which naturally comes in third place as a category from a food perspective. There's some opportunity around the burger range for us, I think. You know, yesterday we were up at our Cleveland restaurant where we're tasting some new innovation around brisket and pulled pork and that type of thing. The number one seller on our burger range at the moment is the crispy chicken burger, and it's a good feed if you like your crispy chicken burgers. So
that's more you, isn't it? I'm more beef. I'm just like burgers,
running down your arms and fingers.
We got the cheeseburger in Paradise one. If you're a cheeseburger,
I'll be sampling that definitely.
That one has been on the menu for 36 plus years as well. The length of the brand.
Got to be good then, hasn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Stands the test of time.
So no, you don't leave hogs feeling hungry. I think that's something that's remained over the years, is how generous the portions are, and it speaks to value again, doesn't it? So,
absolutely.
I know from my point of view, I've had a fair few hogs meals over the past 3-4 months now, and you never leave hungry, that's for sure.
No, and
you start looking like me soon.
The curly fries are renowned as well. My partner, as soon as I met with you a while ago, and she said, "Oh, the curly fries, we need to go." And you've got various dishes there that are just like a signature of Australian culture, I suppose, aren't they?
Yeah, well, the curly fry is a cult hero.
Yeah.
And it's a funny statistic. Domestically, we're responsible for 95% of curly fry sales.
Wow.
So this product range is kind of owned by Hogs, and it's been synonymous, obviously, with our rise. And everyone remembers it, whether you're a kid or whether you're an adult.
So it was a real trailblazer in Australia. There weren't really curly fries.
Yeah, well, there's not too many establishments that you can go and find a curly fry, right?
That's right.
So, I mean, they're big over in the States, and always have been over there in the States. But if you look domestically, and obviously the brand fit for us is perfect, but you can't really find curly fries domestically now. So if you're looking for that unique experience, you're only going to find it at Hog's Breath Cafe.
Love it. Absolutely.
You know what I really love too about this brand? It's sticking around. It's part of my childhood, and we spoke about Joe's before and other people's childhood having their 21st there. But I just love brands like this that continue to grow and get better and just stay in our lives because of things just disappear, and this is incredible. I love the way this is moving forward.
Yeah, and I think what Tom's hit the nail on the head that they've got to innovate as well, and the problems that a lot of hospitality had during COVID. Is kind of epitomised with a few closures of restaurants. And so tell us about what the, I suppose, not immediate future, but the next few years hold for Hog's Breath. Have you got plans to open more restaurants in Queensland? Different marketing ploys?
Yeah, I think if you look at the restaurant landscape, there's plenty of opportunities for us in southeast Queensland. I think, the brand is still at its strongest in Queensland. The Gold Coast is a huge opportunity for us. We've only got one restaurant left on the Gold Coast. I'd love to get up to sort of 4 or 5 quite quickly. I think there's a demand for it and the population.
I'd love one down at Coolangatta or Currumbin.
Yeah, Coolangatta's a big opportunity, north of where we're at up now as well, sort of the Coomera, Pimpama type scenarios up there as well. So there's plenty of growth opportunities on the Gold Coast. There's plenty of growth opportunities in Brisbane. Look, we've strategically said that by 2030 we'd like to be back up to 50 restaurants.
Great.
So that's 30 opportunities for us to go and put new restaurants on the ground.
Yeah.
In high traffic areas and in areas where mainstream Australians can come and transact with us because we have been regionally skewed for the past 5 or 10 years. So getting a healthy balance of both regional and metro locations back on the ground is super important for us so that we can cater to the masses.
Yeah,
so,
I think you're right with the location as well. I think there's one up at Marina Mirage, or there used to be, didn't there? And I always thought that was a bit of a weird location for it to be there, with all the kind of affluence and the bit, it just didn't fit for me. And is that a big part of what choosing the location for the restaurant?
I think it's a big part of you need to get your strategy right moving forward and really understanding your brand and where it works well. Yeah. And equally where it doesn't work well moving forward as well. So that's the work that we're undertaking at the moment, and you'll see us pop up in more traditional locations that manages to cater to the masses, as I said. From a marketing perspective, there's a hell of a lot happening in that space at the moment. I think what this brand has always done well is be a bit cheeky and irreverent, and we used to sponsor the Broncos cheerleaders and
I remember that.
And the racing cars and all that type of stuff, right? So we've been able to push the boat out previously and get our marketing dollars working a little bit harder for ourselves, and that's definitely something that's back on the agenda now.
If you want us to introduce you to Renee Gracie, we can.
Yeah,
she might be a bit too far.
But then we've got this 36-year-old character known as the Hogster as well, who's kind of gone MIA for the last few years.
I still remember that him dancing on the adverts. Carrying on, it's great.
So how do we bring him back? What does he look like in 2025? And how does he engage and interact with the general public on social media, in restaurants, with the kids? That's the fun stuff that this brand can do, and that we're getting our teeth into now. So, if you fast forward sort of 6-12 months from now, you're going to see this brand, looking and feeling a bit different out there in the market. And the stuff we've got planned, I'd be pretty surprised if we don't have sort of mainstream eyeballs back on the brand and people talking to us, talking about our brand in a positive light. Because it has been quite negative the past few years around closures and the brand losing its way. And people just want to see the good times back at Hog's Breath. So, that's my job.
I'm happy to put the Hogster suit on. I won't need much padding, so I'm happy to give it a go if you need.
You don't want the one in the office, I'll tell you that much. That hasn't been dry cleaned in a while, so
Well, we can't wait to get down, and I know we'll be visiting regularly, mate, won't we, Scotty? I mean,
Most
it's
indeed.
just really exciting for you, mate. Just before we do finish, I did touch upon it last week when we spoke on the phone. You're a Chelsea fan. I'm a Barnsley fan. We beat them, Scotty, 2008 FA Cup. I think it was a
2008.
quarter-final. Yeah. I know it's not a long time ago. But you reminded me you're the world club champions, mate. So congratulations.
Well, we are indeed best team in the world.
Do you think that?
Not for the first time. Yeah, not for the first time. So, no, I'm really excited for the season that's coming up, and I think we've built a nice, strong young team that can compete on all fronts. So, commiserations for you being a Barnsley fan.
Thank you. We won our first two. We're 6 points from 6. So
yeah, well, there you go. And what league's that
League
in? Is that
One,
like 2 or 3 or whatever it is? Yeah, no, but no, look, I had to put up with a lot of pain in the early days from a Chelsea fan, so it's good now to see that come full circle and enjoy the fruits of many dollars invested into the club. So.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how they do, because they've not been in the doldrums in the league, but they haven't competed right at the pinnacle. So I hope they do this season from a neutral perspective.
Yeah, I think from having a very young and inexperienced team in that space now, and they've kind of grown up together the last 2 or 3 years. I was super impressed with how they performed in America over the summer. So hopefully they carry that into the new season. I think they've recruited well, and we'll see what happens.
We certainly will. Tom Elliott, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. Thank you so much for joining us.
And it's good to see that Hog's Breast in great hands.
It certainly is, mate.
Yep.
Scotty, will you join me again next week, same time, same place?
Certainly will, and I think I might go get a steak on the way home.
Oh, certainly will be.
The Grillaz on the Rebel.